the main topic or the main conversation of this the interview really is what are the main challenges of an international student who doesn't have a family here, who came here without, a job, without experience, without friends? What are the top challenges that you have faced in the last year that you have lived here so far?
So I think first challenge would be finding a good accommodation. Lucky for me, I got my visa approval early. Like I I applied January and I got my visa approved within 25 days. So I'm lucky enough to find my accommodation like that early. So I got my approval January and my school will start in September. So I've got plenty of time to research for accommodation. And I'm lucky enough I got approved in one of the biggest housing properties. It's called Northview
Yeah.
here in Canada. So
Did you apply at Northview? Did you apply when you were in Qatar or?
yes, I was able to,
Oh,
they were able to approve me while I'm still outside. I know it's hard to get approved because I've seen a lot of videos, even permanent residents, it's hard to get approved
mm,
because they're looking for like
right.
rental history and just so many requirements. So I'm just lucky enough
Mm.
was able to get approved. And this location is just across NBCC, just 1 minute. I'm literally in school.
All right. And how much do you pay in rent in your apartment?
So it's a $900 two-bedroom apartment. So I'm sharing it with another student. So it's 450 for the location. It's a really good price.
There's another question. Amoy, optimistic. What course is he studying?
I'm studying a 2-year diploma program in social service community worker. It's a brand new program which started just last year.
Mm-hmm. So that's about housing. And was there anything special that you did that got you approved, or you were just plain lucky and that's it and that's all?
Well, I just applied on the website and I just comply with everything they ask me, like the
Uh-huh.
uh, bank records. Good thing I already opened my CIBC deposit account,
Mm.
so I was able to support my application with that.
Uh-huh. So when you opened your CIBC deposit account, were you able to transfer money immediately? Or could
Yes,
you only?
because there's two options actually for people who wanted to open their accounts.
Mm.
There's a GIC or the investment, and there's also like the deposit. So
Uh,
I opted for deposit because I already been approved when I opened my account.
okay. So then you could deposit any amount of money immediately,
Yes, that's
even
right.
before you move to Moncton.
Yes, that's
Uh-huh.
right.
Oh, there you go. There's a banking tip for you guys at CIBC. And CIBC is a big banking company or bank company here in Canada. It's absolutely stable. You do not have to worry that it will go bankrupt in the next 2 months. You can open your accounts there. Anusha, what are the important things we have to keep in mind when searching rentals online?
Yeah, there's some sketchy people who try to lure people, so be mindful of that. So when I try to search online, I just go to the website, the original website of the property. So
Mm,
there's two big properties here in Moncton specifically. There's one Killiam, it's called
mm.
Killiam Properties, and one is Northview Properties. So you can search that. I don't know if I could type it, but yeah, there's
I did.
North, yeah,
Kilang
Killiam, yeah,
Mhm.
Killiam Northview. So that's a legit big company across Canada. I mean, Northview is across Canada. I've seen their website, and you could literally rent if you're in BC, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah,
Alberta.
yeah. So to answer Anusha's question, you have to go to the website of the property company.
Yeah,
As Mark mentioned, two companies that he recommends are Kilam Properties and Northview Properties. Go to their website. Uh, Kijiji, you wouldn't, because Kijiji can be sketchy, eh?
sometimes it's sketchy. Or for some like people from Africa, I know for sure that there's like a community here. You could search that in Facebook, and you could connect with people from your country, and they would, recommend some places for rent. So that's really nice option also.
Yeah. When it comes to Kijiji, you have to be careful because there are people who just wants easy money and will scam you.
Yeah.
It may be on rentals, it may be on used the vehicles, used commodities that they will sell. Well, as a matter of fact, it cannot be used anymore.
Yeah.
You have to be absolutely careful with Kijiji. Facebook group, I find, is more reliable. You say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah.
Northview Properties. Yes, you're welcome, Anusha. You're welcome. If you ever have any more questions, absolutely put it in the text here and I will read it to Mark. Networking is very important. If you have any friends in NB, ask them to visit the property.
Yeah, you could also ask them, yeah, to
Mm,
visit the property,
yeah.
because some properties they just put the address, but when your friends or some people you would search it in Google, it's literally a empty lot. So just be careful about that.
So, aside from studying and working part time, what else can you share to our viewers on the major challenges that they can expect when they move to Canada as international students?
So one factor will be winter. So coming from the Philippines, it's a tropical country, so we don't have winter. And winter here is, it's unpredictable. Sometimes the snow is, they have snowstorms, so you must
Mm,
be prepared about that. But um, winter will be always be there. I mean, you need to find, sports or activities during winter so that you wouldn't, get any into depression. So
yeah. And how cold was it to you the last time you were here? Your first winter experience, how cold was it?
it's really cold, and they said that this winter was extreme compared to the last year because we've got few storms, snowstorm last January and February. So
Do you have any tip to our viewers on where they could possibly buy, inexpensive jackets?
Canadians love to thrift shop. So there's a plenty of thrift shops around town, so they could,
Mhm.
get some good deals out of it. So
Yeah, there's Geese Frenchies. There are not too expensive shops as well, like Winners and Marshalls
yeah.
and Salvation Army. There are many good quality jackets which are not expensive at all, and they will be good to your wallet.
Yeah.
So that is the second one. Second one is weather. Anything else?
Yeah, first is adjusting from studying and working. Second is weather. Third, I think, is the balance of life here. If you don't know your networks, like if you don't, you know join some groups or something, you
Mm,
would feel really sad. So that's one advice I could give to aspiring students, to find their like hobbies or their group, their passion. Like
mm.
there's so many people out there who has the same passion, so you could connect with them.
Within NBCC, are there groups wherein you can approach and say, "Hey, we're from the same nation. Is there any other group that we could, or any activity that is organized by the school? Is there such a thing?"
Yes, I think because NBCC, they have so much of international students, so
Mm.
their international department is huge. They
Oh,
have so much,
okay.
support. And one thing nice about NBCC is that they have, yeah, support for international students. They have these webinars that they guide you
Mm.
from the start, like from coming here
Mm.
until to application for your postgrad work permit, even your options for permanent residency. Like 2 weeks ago, I kind of attended a webinar organized by NBCC, and it has like a speaker from IRCC and one from Opportunity New Brunswick. So you have an option if you wanted to pursue like a federal pathway or a provincial pathway. So it's really
Wow.
nice.
And those are organized by NBCC, eh?
Yes, organized by NBCC, and I have a friend from Holland College, and she told me they don't have that kind of support. So I'm lucky I'm with NBCC because they have so much webinars
Yep.
for everything.
Another question: how flexible is the school with assignments and coursework? Do they have strict deadlines? Are there any students who failed in your course or anyone you know?
First, I'm gonna answer the first question. How flexible is the
Mm,
school with assignments and coursework? I
mm,
mean, the teachers are very much flexible. For
mm,
example, you have this Friday deadline, and for some reason you couldn't, pass your assignment. You could
mm.
just email the person like a day or two before the submission, and they will give you an extension. They are really flexible about, you know, things.
It's
You
nice.
just have to inform them like
Uh-huh.
2 days or like a day before the deadline.
Oh,
And okay, yeah,
strict deadlines.
they have
Do you
strict.
know anyone who failed in your course?
No, because they want you to succeed. That's the main point. Like
Yeah.
the comparison of studying in the Philippines and in Canada. When
Mm.
I was thinking it's hard to study here, but it's not really. It's more hard to study way back home, to be honest.
Okay, so they are not too strict here. Just to answer Anusha's question there, when it comes to deadlines, you can call or email your
Yeah.
professor for the extension of deadlines, and they are kind enough to give such consideration.
Yes, they're very flexible about it.
Yep. One comment here from Cruz Veronica. Hi, waiting for LOA for Fredericton or St. John. Hope you can invite students from other campus as well. This is very informative. Thanks. Yeah, for other campus, unfortunately, right now I do not know anyone from another campus at NBCC. Would you know anyone, Mark?
I don't know, but it's basically it's just the same from all the campuses.
Mhm.
So even if you're in Fredericton or Moncton,
Yeah.
the process of letter of acceptance is just the same. So one tip that I could give for aspiring students, like
Mm,
you have to have a plan. Like before applying for NBCC, I
mhm.
applied. My intake was September or fall, so you have to apply by June,
Correct. Yeah.
the
So,
previous year before
for,
that, because
yeah.
they open their admission every June, and it's because since NBCC is fairly cheap, so there's so many students around the globe who wants to apply. So you need to be mindful that if your intake is fall, like you need to apply by June.
Yeah. So just to again reiterate what Mark is saying, for example, you wanted to come to Canada and be a student, start your term in September 2023. What Mark says is that by June 2022, you
You need to
have
apply.
already applied for your LOA in any campus in NBCC because of the competition you mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm. There's a lot of competition with NBCC, most especially Moncton, I find, because a lot of people want to move here.
Yes, in Moncton, because it's it's the biggest city in New Brunswick,
Yep.
and there's big opportunities for everyone. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll just
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not bad to study in Woodstock anyway. Miramichi is not so bad.
yeah,
Fundy is not bad either. St. Stephen's not bad. The thing is, once you finish your school, you are in the same province anyway.
yeah, you
You
can
can move to Moncton anytime you want. As soon as you finish your school, you have got the autonomy to move and find a job here and do your PR or find an employer who is in Moncton, right?
yeah. So I have a classmate, like for example, you accepted, let's say for example, NBCC Miramichi, and
Mm,
then after a semester you could transfer to Moncton. So I have a classmate from Jamaica. She first started her fall intake, which is from September to December in Miramichi, and she
mm.
transferred here in Moncton by January. So you can, I mean, all options are open, so you could definitely do that.
Correct. And that gives you higher probability to get accepted if you do not just target Moncton, because again, Moncton is
Very
truly
competitive, yeah.
competitive. If you can apply in Woodstock and then transfer here,
Transfer.
that's a good option for you. If you can apply in Miramichi and then transfer here, then that's a good tactic for
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
It's really
Um,
doable.
yeah. Now a lot of courses are already full a year in advance. A year in advance?
I don't think it's I think what he or she is trying to say is maybe for September 2023 it's almost full.
Yeah.
But
Correct.
if you target fall 2024, you should apply by June of 2023.
Of 2023. And what are the documents they should prepare so that they're good to go? They just hit the submit button before June 2023.
So you need to, it really depends on the level of your education. If you finished your bachelor's degree in your home country, you need to provide them the copy of your diploma or the certificate of completion and also your transcript of records. They would also ask you to provide them a copy of your secondary credentials, which is your high school or secondary diploma, also, or certificate of completion, and your transcript of records. Because NBCC is a postgrad school, so they would ask for your secondary records, and they would also ask you for if
Meet.
you're not listed in the English country, I mean your language, you have to submit like a certificate from your school that it says that the medium of instruction is in English, or you could take IELTS academic if you want.
Correct. Now, one thing in NBCC is that because there are schools within Canada who have got us a list of nationalities wherein they will accept medium of instruction as English, and therefore they do not have to take IELTS.
Yes, that's correct.
NBCC, on the other hand, essentially allows any nationality as long as you have the letter of a medium of instruction as English, and then they do not have to take IELTS. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'm just wanted to read someone commented that, yeah, that's Carice, my friend that transferred. Yeah, yeah, her name is Carice, my classmate from Miramichi who transferred to Mountain. That's right.
Yeah.
She's from Jamaica.
So great to hear. I'm planning to join Fall 2022 Woodstock campus. Only visa is pending. So I'm on all years about buying a vehicle. Woodstock doesn't have public transportation. So share your story, please. Share your story about the buying of the vehicle.
Yeah. So, um, if you wanted to buy your vehicle, it's the better option is to get it from a dealer, because from a dealer they have their own shop, so anything goes wrong you could literally go there. They have some kind of warranty, so,
Mm,
or you could get some vehicles from your friends. If you
mm.
know someone from your community and they're willing to sell your car, that's really a good option. So
Yeah. So the thing is, do not go on Kijiji and meet a private individual that you've never met in the past,
yeah,
never have got any clue who this person is, and you try to buy a vehicle. See, here in New Brunswick and across Canada, we have got the sticker that you have to put in the vehicle itself. So
yeah,
this sticker, if you do not have this, then the vehicle is illegal. You are not able to renew the vehicle or drive it legally on the road. Now, there are many private individuals who take advantage of the new people here because they do not know. So they will create or put a fake sticker just to show that it's a legal car that can be driven on the road, whereas in fact it is not. So there, it's just one of the scams that happen here, and you have to be absolutely careful with this kind of scams.
yeah, absolutely. One advice I could give to students, if you have the budget, you could go for the brand new. That's
Yes.
one thing I could
Mm,
recommend, just to save more money.
uh-huh. Because of your experience so bad with used cars.
I
Just
know.
go for it.
So I'm saying to myself that I'm just gonna go with the brand new the next time, the sixth time that I'm gonna.
But it's exhausting, huh?
I know.
That can get exhausting. Now, another thing that you guys have got to also have an idea of is that insurance here is not cheap.
Yes, it
It,
depends on your driving experience, but most specifically in Canada, your driving
mhm.
experience in Canada.
Correct. If you have driving experience in the US and then they could consider that.
Yes,
But
yes, yeah.
outside of the US,
Yeah.
everybody's coming from Africa, the Middle
Southeast
East,
Asia.
Asia. Yeah. So those driving years is taken into consideration to drop your insurance cost. So the cost of insurance here is absolutely phenomenally high.
One option is to get like a secondhand car, but ask the seller if you could bring it to a mechanic. And if they told you like so many random alibis, then you would, think of it like it's something is wrong. So
Correct. Yeah, yeah, and it makes sense as well, because being an international student, I can imagine that the financial means is limited, of course, and therefore buying a used car makes more sense. But as what Mark says, take it to a mechanic, take it to a garage, have it checked and have the sticker checked by the garage to ensure that it is a legal car that can be driven on the road. Because if it is not, if you do not take it in the garage and then poof, you're just wasting your money. You throw money down the drain and off it went. It will never say hi to you ever again.
yeah. So I think for like my five cars, I lost $8,000, $9,000.
Ah!
And if you're gonna compute it, you can actually just add a little more and you can buy brand new, right? So
God.
that's like a year of my tuition at NBCC, and it's so crazy. I know I get to blame myself, but I learned just to forgive.
Mm,
Money you can just earn it, but if you try to deceive people, that's another story. So I just would always say to myself that money you could
mm,
always earn it.
yeah. And don't get scammed again, eh?
I'm like pro now, so
So guys, that's very important. Do not be careful. I know that everybody wants to save a little bit, save money from buying vehicles, save money from insurance, save, and we do understand that. I do understand that, most especially if you are an international student. But there is a border to saving and losing money just because you try to save. There are scammers here. You have to be cautious. Do not trust immediately. If you are to buy a car, you can buy a second hand, but take it to the garage, have it checked, or even buy from a dealership where everything will be absolutely legal.
yeah. So one tip for student, you don't really have to rush to buy a car. If, for example, the accommodation that you found is just nearby NBCC, you could just actually walk. It's just that my part-time job is a night shift, so there's literally no bus, and I don't feel like walking at night. So I just,
Yeah. Now, the thing is, here in Moncton, we do not have a train system.
yeah.
We only have bus, and the bus system is unreliable. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's unreliable because you have to wait for a few minutes, and
Mm,
especially in winter it's hard to wait for the bus because it gets really cold.
correct. Yeah. And therefore, the reason that sometimes it becomes necessary to buy a car. Again,
If
you
you
do
have family, like if you're gonna move here with your kids, so it's just beneficial to have a car.
correct. But then, if you absolutely do not have the means or the money, the finances to buy a car, you definitely have to find a house that is within walking distance at NBCC, because along NBCC, you can just walk and you can buy anything you want. It's within walking distance.
Yeah,
And
it's within the proximity. So
yep.
if like my accommodation, it's just 1 minute walk to NBCC, to
Mm-hmm.
Walmart. You can
Yep.
just walk to supermarkets. You can literally do your groceries. So
Mm-hmm.
all about the location. So it's all about the planning, guys. So if you wanted to move here, plan ahead of time.
Correct, and you also have to truly have a good understanding of the bus routes, because if you live near the bus route, then everything becomes easier for you. You do not necessarily have to buy a car immediately, but if you live a long way from the bus route, then you will come to a realization after a month or two that you need a car.
Yes.
Nevertheless, after living here, probably after a year, you will want to buy a car anyway, because without having a car, you haven't got access to anything else really. There's no train that, well, there is, but it's not a commute for transportation train. Nova Scotia is very far from New Brunswick. If you want to go to Nova Scotia, you have to have a car. If you want to go to Quebec, you have to have a car. We do not have a train system, and therefore a car becomes necessary if you have lived here long enough.
Yes.
Anything else, Mark? Anything else? Frustrations, challenges, adjustments?
Well, I wrote here some things to bring for like aspiring students. Of course, first is money. That's
Yes,
really important. Like you
yes.
have to have your own money because
Mm,
it's we're still in the pandemic and we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. Let's say there's another wave that's coming and
mm,
every establishment is closed, so
mm,
works are temporarily cut. So
mm.
you need to have a backup money, and also if you need to bring your phone because like if you wanted an iPhone, you can actually buy it from your home country and just get a plan from the telecom company here
Mm,
because telco here's are not that good.
mm,
Also, yeah, make sure you attend the webinars of the school that you're gonna attend. For sure, they have like an international sections that you could attend from.
mm-hmm.
And second is police clearance before you left the country that you're from, or for example you're working someone somewhere else. You can get the police clearance so that when you apply for your permanent residency you're already PR ready
Correct.
essentially. And if you have a driver's license from back home, it's better to get an abstract or an explanation the uh, when was the year you got your license. Because when I did my licensing here, they actually asked for my abstract. Good thing I have it, so I just
Huh.
proceeded.
They did ask for your abstract for
Yes,
you exams to have a license.
yes, when they just want to make sure that because on in the Philippines they didn't state on the license card when did you first had your license. So on the abstract they would know
I-
when you had your first license. So it's
Okay.
just handy to have it.
Now, nevertheless, even if you didn't have it, would you still be allowed to take exams and driver's license? You should be, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. It's just as an extra requirement. Okay.
And one thing I wrote here, like for the part time, if you can find for an employer that is related to the field of your studies, it's
Mm-hmm.
much you know beneficial because they can be your future sponsor for your permanent residency. Like while you're studying, you could build a network on that company, and
Mm-hmm.
when you graduate, you can easily because since you're already in the company, you can penetrate and work full time. Like I'm working part time for a company, and when I had my spring and summer break, I could literally ask them for a full time position, and they granted me. So it's
Nice.
really really nice.
Uh-huh. So, question on the being able to leave the course halfway through, and you will get a certificate, correct?
Yeah.
So you opted to continue with the course, is it?
Yes, I opted to continue. Just that, I don't want to take the risk of being in limbo if I don't finish a 2 year, which allows me to have a 3 year post grad work permit. But I was thinking now, since I got my full time job in my company, if I did like exited a year, I could literally apply for my PR right away now.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I regret. But um,
So you have made that decision already. You cannot retract it, is it?
yes, actually, on the letter they had a deadline like until April,
Ah!
so it's already been passed. I remember I'm talking to my friend Udal, and I was telling her like the option of exiting a year, but
Yeah.
there's so many things like you don't really know what will happen in the future. Like no one would expect that the NB PNP Express entry would be hold. So that's one option. So, but if you uh, choose a 2 year program, there's so many stream and pathways you could literally apply for. So I would suggest to people just still take 2 year program.
How is that so?
Yeah.
What about 1+1?
1+1, yeah,
Mm,
it's just the same as the 2 year because literally you have 4 semesters.
correct.
They would give you 3 years, maximum of 3 years if you finished 4 semesters, which is
Mm,
1+1 would be a 4 semesters.
correct. Yeah. Any tip? Any last words for our international students, Mark?
Before you come here, you must need like a solid plan, like your plans for your PR. That ultimately that's our goal to have our permanent residency. So if anything happens, like that is like out of our control, so we should have a plan B, plan C, even a plan D. So
Yeah.
I think there's one final question. Someone
Uh,
said that NBCC allowed to defer for those who are waiting for their visa. You just have to email the international office of NBCC, and they're very flexible and they know what's going on with the visa processing, so they will be really
mm,
flexible. You just have to update them and inform them.
yeah. Thank you, Mark, again.
Yeah, you're
I think
welcome.
you helped a lot of people here, and truly appreciate. I hope that you're open for another conversation in the
Yeah,
future.
for sure. Like I wanted to give back because before I'm also lost and I don't have this kind of platform to, get some information. I would only like read some articles or like people I would private message them with my
Yeah,
questions. Now
yeah.
that I have those experiences, I really wanted to share with people and aspiring students basically.
Great. That is great. Well, guys, if you think that this was informative and you liked it, let me know, and we will have Mark in our broadcast
And
again.
the next video, yeah, for the next video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks
Mark.
everyone.
Day. It's a beautiful day today, and well, I guess you're just gonna sit around and have a little rest, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, you do that. Thank you, everyone. Be safe.